Ever been so happy you just had to dance? I mean, really let loose, like nobody's watching. Now, what if I told you that once upon a time, a whole city started dancing, but it wasn't out of joy. In fact, they couldn't stop. They danced for days, weeks, until they literally collapsed from exhaustion. This isn't a fairy tale or a horror movie plot. This is the very real, very bizarre story of the dancing plague of 1518. Picture this. It's a hot summer day in July, in the city of Strasbourg, which was then part of the Holy Roman Empire. A woman, known to history as Frau Trophia, steps out of her house and onto the street. Suddenly, she begins to dance. There's no music, no celebration, just her, silently, fervently dancing. Her neighbors watch, bewildered. Her husband pleads with her to stop, but she can't. She dances for nearly a week straight. You'd think this would be an isolated, tragic incident. But then, the unthinkable happens. Within that week, dozens of other people join her. They, too, are caught in this strange, involuntary dance. The city authorities are stumped. What is going on? The local physicians, relying on the medical knowledge of the time, make a diagnosis that sounds absolutely wild to us today. They declared it was a case of hot blood. Their prescription: even more dancing. Yes, you heard that right. They believed the only way to cure this affliction was to let the dancers sweat it out. So, they cleared open spaces, they built a wooden stage in the grain market. They even hired professional musicians to play pipes and drums to keep the dancers moving. The idea was to create a controlled environment for this bizarre phenomenon. But this well-intentioned, if misguided, plan backfired spectacularly. The constant music and the sight of a dedicated dancing stage didn't cure anyone. It only seemed to encourage more people to join the frenzied crowd. By August, the dancing epidemic had spiraled out of control. The streets of Strasbourg were filled with hundreds of people, twisting, twirling, and jerking uncontrollably. These weren't joyful dancers at a festival. Contemporary accounts describe them as being in agony, their faces filled with fear and desperation. They were trapped in their own bodies, forced to move until their feet were bloody and their bodies gave out. It's a chilling image, isn't it? The city's daily life ground to a halt, replaced by this surreal, non-stop marathon of movement. People were literally dancing themselves to death. Reports from the time claimed that at its peak, the plague was claiming up to 15 lives a day from heart attacks, strokes, and sheer exhaustion. So, the big question is, what on earth caused this? For centuries, this has been one of history's most baffling mysteries, and there are several compelling theories. The first, and perhaps the most straightforward, theory is poison. Specifically, ergot poisoning. Ergot is a type of mold that can grow on damp rye, which was a staple grain for making bread. This mold contains a chemical that can cause severe muscle spasms, convulsions, and hallucinations. It's the same substance from which LSD was first synthesized. Could the people of Strasbourg have accidentally consumed tainted bread, leading to this citywide outbreak of bizarre behavior? It's a plausible idea. The symptoms, like the spasms, certainly match. However, it doesn't quite explain everything. Ergot poisoning typically restricts blood flow, making coordinated energetic dancing for days on end highly unlikely. It usually makes people very sick and lethargic, not hyperactive. So, while it's a good starting point, the poison theory has some holes. This leads us to the second, and arguably the most widely accepted theory among modern historians: mass psychogenic illness, or what we used to call mass hysteria. To understand this, we need to look at the world the people of Strasbourg lived in. The year 1518 was a time of immense stress and suffering. Famine was rampant, disease was common, and people were living under extreme poverty and spiritual anxiety. The region had been hit by multiple crises. This wasn't a happy, stable society. It was a community on the edge. The theory goes that this intense, prolonged psychological distress manifested itself physically. It was a collective stress response, a social contagion. Think of it like a pressure cooker. The entire community was under immense pressure, and Frau Trophia's strange public dance was the spark that caused the whole thing to explode. In a deeply superstitious society, seeing one person behave this way might have triggered a similar state in others who were already psychologically vulnerable. Their beliefs might have played a role too. There was a local legend about a saint named Saint Vitus, who was said to curse people with a compulsive dance if they angered him. Did the people of Strasbourg believe they were cursed? Did this belief itself bring the curse to life? It's a powerful reminder of the incredible connection between the mind and the body. Mass psychogenic illness is a real, documented phenomenon, seen in various forms throughout history, and it fits the context of 1518 Strasbourg perfectly. There's also a third possibility, which is a bit of a combination of the others. It suggests that this was a form of religious trance or ecstatic ritual that got out of hand. In that era, some fringe religious sects practiced dancing to achieve a state of spiritual ecstasy. Is it possible that what started as a religious practice, perhaps in response to the hardships, devolved into an uncontrollable, dangerous frenzy? The authorities' decision to bring in musicians might even suggest they thought they were dealing with some kind of known ritual, and they were trying to guide it. But this theory doesn't fully explain why the dancers seemed to be in such distress, rather than spiritual bliss. Ultimately, the dancing plague of 1518 remains an enigma. Was it a freak chemical reaction from poisoned bread? A startling case of mass hysteria brought on by unimaginable stress? Or a religious ritual gone horribly wrong? Maybe it was a mix of all three. We may never know for sure. The event eventually subsided in September, almost as mysteriously as it began. The remaining dancers were taken to a shrine to be prayed over, and gradually, the city returned to normal. But the story serves as a haunting lesson from history. It shows us how fragile a community can be, and how extreme stress can manifest in the most bizarre and terrifying ways. It's a stark reminder that the line between our mental state and our physical reality is incredibly thin. The dancing plague wasn't just a quirky historical footnote. It was a human tragedy, a dance of desperation in a world that offered little hope. What do you think is the most likely explanation? Let me know your theories in the comments below. It's a fascinating puzzle to think about. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoy diving into these weird and wonderful corners of history, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. We'll see you in the next one.